Welcome in. Happy Friday.
Woohoo!
The First Warn 5 Weather Show Plus Friday edition. I'm joined by meteorologist Stevie Stephenson. I'm Warren Sears. We have a lot to talk about in the next 30 minutes. Our local forecast is worth a good chunk of time as we sift through some new data coming in for your Friday evening. Lots of people want to be outside, Stevie, myself included.
Yes.
We're going to get you the latest information when you could potentially see some thunderstorms this evening and what's on tap for your weekend ahead. We've been thinking about the weekend for a little while, and it's almost here. Love
Thank
it.
goodness. And it's going to be beautiful.
It's looking great.
Can't remember the last nice weekend we've had.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a solid stretch. We also have some updates from Wyandotte County. They are offering 24/7 storm recovery services now. This was something new that's coming in, so we have some updates there. Our wild weather segment is chocked full today. We had some tornadic activity in the Northeast, places that you wouldn't probably normally think of. Delaware, also the coast in New York, Long Island, Atlantic Beach had some damage as well. We go down to South America, Brazil, Uruguay having some significant flooding, as well as Italy, northern Italy. So that's all to come here in the wild weather segment. Plus, Stevie has an update today on our rainfall. If you think it's been a wet year, it has.
You're right.
And we sit high on the list for year-to-date rainfall. So she breaks that down a little bit later on in the show. We also have an interesting story. Wildfires have been it seems like our wild weather has been wildfires or significant flooding.
I agree. Yeah.
And so we actually have a story from Montana. Students learning how to potentially prevent and learn how to mitigate the ignition of forest fires, wildfires as well. So all that coming up. Let's get to it.
Let's get it.
First, going to start with our update from Wyandotte County here. So we did have, obviously, so this was Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. I'm sure you remember it. We had significant storms that were through Kansas City Metro. Seems like KCK, Wyandotte County, was able to pick up some of the worst of it, sadly. And they've got a long road to recovery for some of these neighborhoods and streets as well. So local officials and utility crews are urging residents to report safety hazards still immediately and utilize several community support services that they've established to assist especially those without power, because there is still a large chunk of affected areas that don't have power and might not for a little while. Things like, of course, reporting the damage and assistance. This is done. First of all this is on our website, by the way. It breaks down everything that you need to know, what the specific places to go to, numbers to call, and whatnot. But the 311 center is operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Power outages and down lines are a big issue. To report those outages or street light damage, call the Board of Public Utilities. Emergency shelters. The unified government has partnered with the American Red Cross to open an overnight and resource shelter at the Earl Watson Community Center for those that still need it. The shelter offers overnight stays, charging stations, and whatnot. No ID is even required to access the shelter. Storm debris disposal. The Recycling Yardway Center at 321 Park Drive will operate extended hours now through Saturday, next Saturday at that. And residents can place 10 paper bags of debris bundles and whatnot. There's specifications on our website. Senior meal services. Wyandotte County residents age 60 and older without power can actually get hot meals. And there is a link to that on our website. And medical needs. Residents who rely on electrically powered, life-sustaining medical equipment, they are asked to seek shelter at one of these other options immediately. So again, a few things that Wyandotte County is doing to make sure the residents are taken care of, KCK specifically, as they continue the cleanup from those destructive, damaging storms that were confined to pockets of the area, but hit pretty hard. So I just want to give that update right off the top here. We have an opportunity for some thunderstorms this evening. We do want to mention that. I know some people still have storm anxiety from what happened, and I get it. We totally understand, and we want to make sure that we give you the latest information, kind of set the stage, what could be a little bit different, timing, impacts, and whatnot. So the changes ahead today, we have this first warn in place this evening and into the overnight. I'll go ahead and start by saying the data that we had overnight versus what we're getting now into midday, a little bit different. We have some slight shifts and some slight changes, but there still is the potential for some noisy thunderstorms, some of which could be on the low end severe side. The rest of this weekend, once we can get into early Saturday morning, get any lingering showers that can be left over, it looks great. Really looks solid. Stevie mentioned it looks one of the nicer weekends we've had in a while. And it will have some clouds, but some cooler temperatures really are the name of the game here into both Saturday and Sunday afternoon, specifically on Sunday. The latest update from the Storm Prediction Center here, we have this severe risk. Again, level 1 out of 5 risk in place for this afternoon, evening, and into the early overnight as well. That includes most of the coverage area. I'm thinking especially northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri. We're going to watch for potential gusts over 60 and large hail up to quarter size. Now, here's the thing. There's not a widespread severe outbreak tonight or anything like that. There could be a thunderstorm or two that's able to reach those low end severe limits. So just a heads up, there's the potential there. We're kind of watching trends currently up across Nebraska. You see some thunderstorms have fired up in that general vicinity across the state, very scattered stuff. Some of this stuff in eastern Nebraska is what we're going to be watching to potentially make it down into our coverage area. This stuff out west, that will probably stay out of our reach. So it's anything that can form here. That's going to be that disturbance is tracking in our vicinity. So everyone is dry in the coverage area right now, but you see between Lincoln and Omaha, there are a couple of downpours there. Not severe or anything like that, but just note that that is the potential and the area of concern that we'll be watching. Here's the latest data coming in through midday and the early afternoon. We got a 30-40% chance from probably 3 to 5, maybe a 40-50% chance in through about 8 p.m. So you can see the computers are still spitting out a storm or two closer to the metro. These are minimal in coverage, and they could be strong, they could be noisy, but they're fairly brief impacts. So even if you get one of these thunderstorms this evening, that doesn't mean it's going to storm all evening. I think that they could be 30-minute, 45-minute impacts maybe, and then should be on their way. So the coverage from this morning, Stevie, is a lot different. It was a lot more aggressive this morning, and that doesn't mean that still can't happen, but the trends that we've seen throughout the day are still to bring some spotty storms around, just maybe not for as many of our communities.
Yeah, exactly. Some of this morning's data was concerning. This is definitely a positive change with scaling back the coverage and the intensity of the storms. Now, like you said, Warren, it is still bringing a couple cells, even possibly close to the metro. So that's why we're not just eliminating this rain chance.
Right.
And this is a newer trend too. So we don't just want to go based on only certain small changes, but we are seeing positive changes for your evening plans. I know there's a Royals game. It's Friday night. People are trying to get out regardless of what's going on. So maybe with some of those plans, we could find a delay, or you might need to go out a little later once that initial round of storms tries to lighten up. But around that late afternoon, early evening, as you mentioned, we need to be watching for those stronger storms. Keep that First Warn 5 weather app with you. We send information out there all the time. Yeah,
and it's a really nice resource too if you are out. I love it specifically for a few reasons, but my favorite thing is if I'm out, I like to be outside. We know you guys are going to be outside tonight. There's a thunderstorm chance, but we know people are going to be out and about and moving around. It has lightning detection and also alerts to your phone, like if you have a severe thunderstorm warning issued for your area or whatnot, heavy rain within 10 miles. So it's just nice. It gives you kind of a little heads up. If you're not looking at the radar, it can kind of give you that little heads up that you might have something. So yes, if you're going out and about this evening, we don't want you to cancel plans. We don't think that any impacts will be all evening, but we do think there is a potential for some brief delays to some things that you've got going on. Then into the overnight, we see the potential here for radar to blossom up a little bit more. I think there's going to be a bigger system out across Kansas. Can we get some of that outskirt rain potentially into the early morning on Saturday, 6 to 8 a.m., maybe 9 a.m., but most of Saturday is trending to be on the drier side. So should be able to get out and about, no issue on those days. Depending on where exactly those thunderstorms set up to, we might be able to pick up a couple tenths of an inch of rain, maybe a half inch of rain. But there are a lot of our communities, I think, Stevie, this evening that just are dry.
Yeah.
So real hit and miss, real spotty. So again, it's hard to exactly pinpoint where those are going to go, but we have seen that trend to pull some of them into northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri, and potentially closer to Kansas City. The weekend outlook, I want to get you that here real quick before we move on to wild weather. The preview is
spectacular.
It's great. 84. I mean, 84 on a Saturday in August. Not bad. It's still summer, and for many more weeks. So yeah, it's still going to be warm, but 84 is below normal for this time of the year. We're also noticing the humidity starts to fall a little bit on Saturday and maybe a little bit more on Sunday. So lower humidity levels, got a little bit of cooler northern air coming in. So 81 on Sunday, a little extra cloud coverage. But honestly, I think both days have great opportunities to get outside, and
Agreed.
People are craving that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go.
Enjoy.
Start making your plans now.
Enjoy it. Enjoy
Yes.
it. I think that's it for our forecast. Anything else that we didn't hit on that you think, oh, maybe high temperatures today, because it is warm out there. It's a little bit humid today as well. So there feels like temperatures jumping into the mid 90s for the heart of the afternoon. So if you're going to be out and about, maybe you're going to happy hour or whatever it may be, it feels like temps probably 5, maybe even up to 10 degrees warmer, depending on where you're at. Actual air temperatures getting into the lower 90s farther south of Interstate 70. And let's just look quick at where we're sitting. Yeah, so you've already got 93 in Ottawa, 94 in Garnett. You guys are a lot hotter down there. But 84 for us in KC. I'm probably getting another 4 degrees here this afternoon. So all in all, it is summer-like, but it's not extreme heat. It's definitely more tolerable summer. We can deal with that, but probably until about 5 or 6, probably 6 p.m. It'll be maybe a little uncomfortable to be outside, but not too shabby.
We'll make it.
We'll make it. All right, let's go to our wild weather segment today because it is quite interesting. And the reason I say that is we actually had some tornadoes. One was a water spout tornado, and one was an actual tornado based from a thunderstorm in the Northeast. So let's go up to...
Tornado.
This was Atlantic Beach, not to be confused with Atlantic City. Atlantic Beach, and this is in New York. Water spout, a hefty one. You can see here in the distance, got a lot of commentary in the background here. I'll pull that down a little bit. Water spout actually makes landfall, which then it becomes a land spout. And these tornadoes are usually pretty weak, but they still can bring some localized wind damage. And we saw that. So quite the picturesque rope there and funnel. And real beautiful there. This was yesterday, and parts of Long Island now are cleaning up from this. So let me get you some. This is also as it was coming on shore. You can look at all those chairs. So this is the type of damage that water spouts and land spouts can usually do. Things that are not secure, minor damage as well. Low end, usually EF0 type damage. This is Nassau County. Thursday night, ripped through cabanas and buildings at a beach club. Atlantic Beach Rescue said only thankfully one minor injury was reported from this. But there was a little bit more. So here's some actual post damage from it. Water spouts and tornadoes, or water spouts are tornadoes, excuse me, again, that form over the water. And this is the first one to hit Nassau County since 2021. So not overly common up in that area, but definitely some roof damage and some stuff blown over. And here's a cabanas, and you could tell there was
definitely a storm.
Some wind damage out there. So they'll be cleaning that up out there today as well. Let's go to Delaware, where there was near Dover. Trying to find the actual. There was some video here. So this is in Dover, Delaware, and you can see some power lines. Watch here shortly. Some power lines, and there you go, in the tornado. So this was a confirmed tornado from the National Weather Service. Look at those power lines on the right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Flying.
Right underneath them. Those could get pulled over, and those drivers are in a mess there. Tornado touchdown in Dover Thursday afternoon, so yesterday. The police department warned of a lot of damage and power lines down in the region. Pretty significant damage for Delaware.
Right.
Get a lot of tornadoes up there, including a lot of downed trees and flooding. Emergency crews are still, they were actively responding into the overnight, and still crews are working to get that cleaned up. But there were some, let's see, I've got some other damage, some hotel damage, some fence damage out there in Dover, and cosmetic stuff, but still a headache.
Yeah,
Jumping through all those
seriously.
hoops. Stevie talked about that yesterday of just what it takes and what you need to do for any sort of damage. And they're going to have quite the cleanup in Dover as
Yeah.
well. This was just after it had gone through. So
Man. Yeah, because it's not just that physical labor, it's the mental labor of
Mm-hmm.
figuring out where to go to relief, the insurance things. It's always such a mess.
it is. It is. So strong storms in the Northeast. Look at this. Flash flooding in New York. This always freaks me out.
Same in the subway.
The subways. This
Yeah.
is a little bit, still obviously a lot of water pouring down into the subway stations and whatnot. This was in Brooklyn, but just especially the underground stations, that always terrifies me because you got all of that water cascading down into,
Yeah.
and oftentimes flooding the low-lying areas. It's so
Right.
flat. Their
Yes.
drainage system's horrible, and it's concrete everywhere.
Right. There's nowhere for that water to go.
It just sits and people try to drive in it, and the buses still operate, and it's anytime New York City gets even just like an inch or two of rain, they have humongous issues.
Yeah.
Again, just think about here. We can take an inch of rain or 2 inches of rain because we have so many places for it to go, creeks, streams, rivers, and terrain differences, and our systems just set up a little bit better, and the ground can absorb it a little bit more, but not so much in the heart
Not in New York.
of the city. Let's talk about some more flash flooding because this was pretty wild. Let me see if I can find the video here. Here it is. Brazil and Uruguay on the border there. Look at that. Well, let me go back to this opening. I'm going to pause it. Yeah, those are whole towns. So clearly next to a larger river, but significant flash floods happened at the Brazil-Uruguay border. This was on Wednesday. Heavy rainfall triggered overflow and flooding, forcing many families to have to leave their homes in a Brazilian city bordering this, disrupting commercial activity. So this was in southern Brazil. Authorities opened a temporary shelter because a lot of people were displaced. That's a lot of moving water here through that.
A lot. Through the hearts of towns.
Yeah, across the border in Rio Branco, Uruguay, floodwaters spread into the streets and commercial districts, concentrated duty-free shops all around, and people's and I don't know if this is much of a touristy area, but if you think about shutting down businesses, and tourism is so big in some of these other countries. So yeah, a mess in both of these countries, right on the border there. Also a mess up in Italy. Mudslides. They've had really high heat. They've had wildfires.
It has been so intense over there in Europe. I feel like every day there's a new country with a wildfire or extreme deadly heat.
And now they're dealing with too much rain, heavy rainfall battering northern Italy, triggering mudslides. This was today. Firefighters say they're responding to hundreds of emergency calls in the worst hit Lombardy region, in the small alpine village of Reno di Sonico, in one of the provinces there. More than 80 people were evacuated to safety after a bridge over a river had collapsed completely.
Wow.
Probably one of their lifelines there to get in and out of the region. That was some vertical video. Here's some better video for you to see as well. The mountainous terrain dense regions, every time we see it, funnels down into the low-lying areas, which oftentimes is the towns with the rivers running through, and beautiful most of the year, but you got to deal with this, which this is not smart to do ever, by the way, driving over that flooded roadway. Other regions in northern Italy hit really bad, including Piedmont, Tuscany, and Liguria. Italy is grappling with severe weather as violent storms swept across the country, bringing very heavy rain and thunderstorms after weeks of scorching heat.
Yeah, with that heat too, and the wildfires, which this is something I learned more recently, was burn scars in areas that have been burned. If there's heavy rain on top of that, it really increases the mudslide concern as well. So it all just feeds together into a mess.
Absolutely. It basically acts like runoff, like concrete.
Right.
Can't absorb it anymore. All right, guys, that is Look at Your Wild Weather. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Stevie's talking rainfall. You should see some of these numbers and where we rank year to date. That's coming up in just a bit. We're taking just a quick 2-minute break. We'll be right back. Look at this. Endangered sea turtles released. This is in Cape Cod. 4 endangered Kemp's Ridley sea turtles will return to the sea off Cape Cod. And this was earlier in the week after months of specialized treatment at the hands of the New England aquarium experts. The turtles washed up to shore in Cape Cod in November and December of 2025, suffering a variety of life-threatening conditions, pneumonia, dehydration, and trauma, they said in the press release. So they're back. They did name them.
Okay.
Dumpling, Lucky, Jumble, and Old English.
Jumble is so cute.
I like Dumpling.
I love that. They were like waving to everybody. Look.
Bye. Time to go. Best of luck to them. They got trackers on them. I'm sure they're going to keep watch on how they're doing.
So sweet.
All right. We talked a lot about flash flooding, too much rain. We've had our times of that this year.
Right.
Some big rainfall events. We officially have recorded some pretty significant numbers, months of above normal precipitation. Stevie broke this down, kind of puts it into perspective and shows us where we sit year to date so far in our weather history. Stevie, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, we're on the leaderboard, and when we look month by month for how much rainfall we've brought in, outside of February, it's been so prolific in the rainfall department. Multiple months clocking over half a foot of rain, especially through the spring season, which we had a lot of heavy, strong thunderstorms, very active, severe season. So those numbers lining up, but you add it all together, we end up just shy of 40 inches, which puts us at third wettest year so far. That's year-to-date rainfall from January 1st through today. You put that against over 100 years of record keeping, and we sit at number 3. Now, we see more rain chances, of course, in the days ahead, but if we look back, all this rain has really helped with our drought concerns. So we don't have official drought anywhere in our coverage area, just these more abnormally dry conditions, including out east there on the Missouri River. Much of the rest of the country cannot say the same, but we've been lucky to have all of this rainfall. While it's been a nuisance at times, it's really helped our vegetation. I'm hoping we have a more colorful fall this time around, Warren, too.
Oh, good note. I didn't even think about that yet.
Yeah, we'll see. Drought-free KC Metro, 191 days. It was early February that we had some moderate drought concerns, but it's been a great year of rain.
Yeah.
Hard year of severe weather, but our environment is reaping the benefit of all that healthy rainfall.
Absolutely, and that's a good note. The severe thunderstorms I know have been really, really significant this year. It's been a historic year, but oftentimes when we get those strong thunderstorms, that's where you can find some of the heaviest rain. You get multiple inches of rain in a short amount of time, but then it's a lot spottier. So, you know, Olathe could get 2 inches of rain one day with a thunderstorm, and the Kansas City International Airport, where our official record is kept, could be dry. So it's interesting to see, but I think that that's a pretty good gauge for the entirety of the metro with those numbers. So incredible stuff. Fascinating as always, Stevie.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have done well with rain. A lot of our states out west, though, have not. They have really struggled, and this has been an issue for fires, not only in the world, but here in the U.S., of course, as well. The Pacific Northwest, the Rockies. We've had a lot of bad wildfires this year, and there are some students up in Montana that are actually getting some really good insight and learning how can we, moving forward, start to think about preventing these wildfires and mitigation and whatnot. So this is a cool story. Take a listen.
At the incident command post for the North Fork Lost Horse, Butterfly, and Black Bear fires south of Hamilton. And since those fires have been burning, there have been Darby-based Trapper Creek students like Silas Yankee working hard to support those on the fire line.
We're doing a lot of supply managing and making sure everything's nice and tidy for the firefighters so they don't have to worry too much about things going on here and they can get right back out there fighting those fires.
Gary Mitchell has been teaching at the Job Corps for 18 years and taking students out to fires the past 6. He says doing this teaches some good life lessons.
We teach them teamwork, communication, learning to wake up early, stay up late.
And they can use all of this to show future employers what they're made of.
Hey, this is how I come to work every single day with a positive attitude. That's what they're learning here at this fire camp.
Mitchell says he's seen great connections and ideas for future careers for his students come out of time at fire camp. This is the case for Andrew Fox, who was inspired to come up to Trapper Creek from Colorado by his aunt, who was educated there decades ago.
After this, I'm planning on doing structure firefighting for the Army. So being able to have the experience and see what it's like on wildland side to, just test out everything is, I feel like, a really helpful experience. So I'm really grateful to Trapper Creek for allowing me to come out here and do this.
Good old hands-on experience. It's definitely something that taught me so much in this business. I'm sure you as well. And that's really how you learn so much. So a lot of resources going into those fires and firefighting crews and all of the efforts underway up in the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. Hopefully they can get some good rain and we can get this fire season to start to throttle back. But I think usually late summer, early fall could be a pretty tough time for those crews. So we'll be thinking about all of them. All right, guys, let's get a look at your 7-day forecast because
not bad.
I mean, it's not too hot.
Yeah.
The thing that I pull from this is the cooler mornings. I enjoy that lately we haven't had to walk outside to 80 degrees.
Right.
65, 67, 68 already significantly just more tolerable and gets you a little bit of a refreshing start to the day. Your afternoons will be warm. Today at 88, 87 next Tuesday. So it's, normal, below or near normal heat that we've got, but nothing abnormal, nothing extremely hot, no big headlines or anything like that, which we love to see.
We sure do. Sunday's catching my eye. She is beautiful to me.
She's beautiful.
81 degrees, lower humidity. We see that uptick in humidity into next week, but not to, thankfully, hazardous levels. So all good news in the temperature department.
Lovely. Anything that you're looking forward to this upcoming weekend?
I think just the weather, honestly. Yeah. I'm keeping it chill this weekend, just going to spend some time outside. You?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and walk the dog, get a good workout in, maybe go get a local coffee.
Ooh.
Yeah, just a nice, good start to the weekend. I work for Luke next week.
Yes.
Early mornings. So
Woohoo.
Sunday will be a little bit of some errands, some prep, and some sleep.
Yeah.
But no, tomorrow's going to be great. Love to see it. Excited. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Stevie, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, you can catch us every weekday at 12:30 for the First Warn 5 Weather Show Plus. Our First Warn 5 Weather Show on KCTV5 is at 6:30 on weekdays as well. And tomorrow morning, when you wake up to start your weekend, pop in.
Good morning.
See Stevie.
I'll be here.
Stevie and Janae. They'll be on from 7 to 8
Yes.
tomorrow morning. Guys, have a great weekend. And we will have some weather updates for you later on this afternoon with what we're seeing for the thunderstorm potential. Take care.